Hey everybody, what's up? Hope you guys are doing good this morning, and thanks for tuning in the channel, man. Much appreciated. And hey, if you guys haven't had a chance yet, please subscribe to the channel. Every month we're giving away free Bridgeford beef jerky to people that subscribe to the channel. We just draw randomly, so hit that subscribe button if you'd like a chance for that free drawing of jerky. One other thing before we get into the tips here, just wanted to do a little housekeeping. Just wanted to remind everybody that Johnny and I have 2 more virtual seminars coming up in the month of March. I think we got one coming up with Johnny on weather patterns, and then Johnny and I are doing a spring jig fishing seminar. So you can check out those, sign up for those seminars by going to fishinthemoment.com. Okay, so anyway, let's get into this secret finesse rig I'm talking about. What I'm going to show you guys today is something that it's been around the Ozarks here for, man, probably 35 years that I'm aware about. And I'm not exactly sure where it originated at, but I know that a lot of anglers here that fish Table Rock Lake, particularly an angler named Randall Hudson, fished this rig for years, and it was one of the top finesse techniques that are out there. In fact, Randall won a big FLW tournament up at the Connecticut River. He took this Ozark rig up there and won that tournament back in the, I think, in the mid-90s, I think, something like that. But anyway, it's the split shot rig. And you guys some of you guys may have heard about it, maybe not, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how I rig it. I'm going to show you guys and sort of talk you through where you want to fish it and everything, and sort of give you its applications versus just the other finesse techniques that are out there. This is a simple deal. It really is. I'm going to start out here with the rig. Here's the bait that I use for it. It's a 4-inch Zoom finesse worm. And you can use any type of finesse worm. Basically, you want a straight-tailed worm, 3.5 to 5 inches long for the most part. But I found that, just like a watermelon or a green pumpkin, a Zoom finesse worm, works as good as anything. The next setup is the hook. I use a 1/0 EWG light wire Gamakatsu worm hook, and I've got a 3/16 ounce slip sinker on it. 3/16 to me is like the key weight. I've experimented with a lot of different weights, but as far as getting bites and being able to effectively fish that 5 to 20 foot zone where this rig shines at is really the key. So basically, it's a real simple deal. What you want to do is come out probably 15 to 18 inches, take a toothpick and peg your sinker. You want to peg this pretty hard. The key on this is, the reason you want to peg this pretty hard is that you don't want this sinker sliding. You want the sinker stationary on here. So, and I found a toothpick works good. I don't, it's never cost me any line frays or anything like that. So I pretty much got a simple rig. Here's my hook here. Here's my weight here, stationary. And then I'm going to take my finesse worm, come through about 1/8 of an inch. And of course, I'd rough it up, like I always do. Sometimes I'll, if the water's off color a little bit, I'll put a little chartreuse on the tail. And also important when you're fishing this light line, never hook the point of your hook back into the worm. Just lay it flush across the surface like that. So here's the basic rig. It's just 3/16 ounce slip sinker, 15 to 18 inches of line. And it's sort of like a finesse Carolina rig is what it's like, but it's not. It works completely different. So the main thing about that, the rig is really simple, but I'm going to tell you guys some advice on how to set it up and where to fish it at. That's going to be the main deal. I fish this rig on a 7-foot, some type of a 7-foot medium fast spinning rod. I use that Megabass Whip Snake, same one that I use for my jerk baits. 6 to 8 pound test, Seaguard and Vizex line. If you're fishing real clear water, like over 6 foot of visibility, I like to go to the 6 pound test. And if I'm fishing that 3 to 5 foot visibility, I use the 8 pound test for that. So that setup's pretty simple there. But the key on this is this bait shines during the pre-spawn, during the late pre-spawn. When you have bass that are starting to sort of stage on those flat or secondary points that are getting ready to move back into the coves, a lot of these times when that water temperature starts to get between like 55 and 60 is when this bait really shines more than anything else. And what I like to do is I like to get close to those spawning areas. Say, for example, if you're fishing, the lake you're fishing, that you know the fish are spawning in the back of the coves, like in late April, move back out and start fishing those banks leading back into those spawning areas and the secondary points. If you're fishing a cove and you've got a secondary point on that cove, begin fishing those secondary points and work your way along the bank about halfway back in. So just picture the sort of the movement of the bass. You know, they're out on the main lake, you know, during the early pre-spawn. They're moving up on these secondary points in the mid pre-spawn, and they start swimming back into these coves during the later pre-spawn. And that's when you can intercept them with the split shot rig. I have never seen a better bait for fishing some type of late post-spawn deal when you have water visibilities over 3 feet. What I like to do is most of the time I'm fishing anywhere between 5 to 20 foot deep. If you've got a lake that has a lot of spotted bass and smallmouth bass in it, like we do here in the Ozarks, a lot of people don't know it, but those smallmouth and those spotted bass, particularly the bigger ones, they'll spawn and they'll stage a lot deeper than what a largemouth will. So say for example, if you've got water temperatures in the mid to upper 50s and you know that the fish are real close to spawning, make sure that you fish this split shot rig in that 15 to 20 foot zone, because those bigger smallmouth and those bigger spotted bass are going to be hanging out deeper. They're going to move up maybe like into that 5 to 10 foot zone. They spawn deeper than largemouth, and they also stage deeper than largemouth. And this rig has shined for me all around the Ozark lakes. You know, Beaver Lake, Table Rock, Bull Shoals Lake, Stockton Lake. I've caught them really good back east a little bit. I've caught them on Lake Lanier with it. I've caught them on Lake Douglas with it. I've caught them on Lake Norman with it. In North Carolina, anytime that you got a late pre-spawn situation, this thing is the deal. And you might ask, well, you know, why wouldn't you use like a shaky head or a drop shot or something like that? It's just the presentation's different. What's happening here is when on this finesse worm is when this is coming along the bottom. Number one, this isn't as loud as a Carolina rig. It's silent. And this thing, the bait, the worm is just sort of free falling, you know, just dragging along the bottom a little bit. It may come up just a couple inches, but it stays close to the bottom. So it's a completely different presentation than a drop shot rig or a shaky head or a Ned rig. It's just, and that's the whole difference in it. It's just the presentation of the worm. And I've never seen a bait that shines like this thing does in the pre-spawn. So anyway, next time you're out there and you're thinking Ned rig, you're thinking shaky head, you're thinking drop shot, you know, for your finesse presentations in the pre-spawn, give the split shot rig a try. I'm telling you guys, it will produce big time for you. I plan on using a lot coming up, you know, in the next few months here. One of the best lakes that I fished is Beaver Lake. I mean, I've caught so many good fish on Beaver Lake in Arkansas with it. Fishing those secondary points, you know, like in 10 to 20 foot of water. So if you got that same type of situation, give it a try. And again, like I said, Randall won that tournament up at the Connecticut River on the split shot rig, all smallmouth, basically fishing current eddies. So it's a really versatile bait. Catch a lot of different fish in a lot of different situations. Worm colors, I stay pretty simple. Green pumpkins, watermelons most of the time. But you'll find that during tough conditions, like bright sunny days, not much wind, cold front conditions, that this bait will catch fish when nothing else will. I don't know how many times that I've been fishing and I've been on a good jerkbait bite. Say, for example, we got a good south wind, 15 mile an hour south wind, and I'm catching them really good on a jerkbait in the pre-spawn. And then a front comes through, gets bright, sunny, windy or no wind, and they quit biting the jerkbait. I've always been able to pick up the split shot rig and go back right through those same jerkbait areas and catch them. So anyway, give it a try, split shot rig. Promise it'll get you guys some more bites this spring. And let me know how it goes, man. Give it a try and shoot some comments here, and hope it adds up to a few more bass for you guys. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. You guys have a good day.